Well, hello and welcome to a new video on a YouTube channel I created to keep my sanity from level society considers acceptable. I'm confused than usual and we are playing Clothing Store Simulator today, a game which has illegally overcharged prices for clothing that has been exclusively made by the poor. And of course, they won't see a single penny of all the profits we are about to accumulate. Before we start, let's have a look at the main menu, which kindly indicates the current situation I'm finding myself in. Unranked 0 and broke nothing. Then we have the news section, which has nothing too crazy in there. I'm missing stuff like robbery, for instance. And as always, this game's still in early access 0.3.3, but there are many things possible, trust me. New game! Welcome! Where's my cocktail? You're taking the first steps on your journey from a small shop to the most important fashion center in the city. I really don't want to spoil anyone, but that's definitely not going to happen. Buy a few products, okay, fill the aisles, everything clear so far, and start selling. Capitalism in a nutshell. Your selling prices must be balanced. Why? It's 2024 and no one does that anymore. Take care of your customers. Do I really have to? Increase sales, I only hear profit. Improve your store, don't go bankrupt. Follow me for more financial advice. Work hard and most importantly, have lots of fun. Don't worry game, I'll take care of that. Continue. So this is the city, quite nice actually. And this is our clothing store, which has the most creative name I've ever heard of. Clothing Store Simulator. Life is just a computer simulation confirmed. How can I change that? Let's save that for later. Because I just saw a giant puddle of what appears to be oil. Screw clothing, I'm becoming an oil tycoon. There's even more over here. While we're at it, let's explore our new surroundings. Well, our clothing store certainly can become huge. Is anyone here? Hello? No? Fine. In here could be something. Sadly, no. Maybe they all escaped through this one street right here. Invisible wall, as if that could stop us. What's that? Advertisement for 4 days? Requires level 20. Currently pathetic 1. And apparently $500. We could afford that. And there we have the same investment opportunity for half the price and half the duration. Other than that, we only have a traffic sign indicating pedestrians, but everything else is a ghost town. Trash can? We found ourselves a new friend. I'm going to place you right in the middle of our shop for everybody to enjoy. So yeah, this is our shop. Nice wooden floor. Large windows to flood the room with plenty of natural light. And a lot of place to work with. We gotta change that ASAP. Here we have our clothing rack. What a beauty. You will fit perfectly. I couldn't help myself but read the tutorial. Go to the computer and order your first product. Leave it to me. So this is our computer. But the paintbrush next to the computer looks far more interesting. Required level 5. Boring. PC it is. So here we have different options to choose from. The cool truck company, the cool empty hall company, the cool cardboard mess and shelves company, the cool unnecessary overblown bureaucracy company, and the cool human trafficking company. Let's pick the cool trucks first. There we have products. 3 in total I wouldn't want to wear because I'm a man and these are for women. Furniture, more clothing for later. Level 2, boring. And special design. Level 7, double boring. Let's start by purchasing one of each. Cargo price, $6. Great thieves and robbers all around. Confirm it within a quarter of a millisecond. Cool blue truck-coon is on site to deliver our goods. For this kind of service, I'm more than willing to pay $6. Can we go with him? I assume that's a no. Now we take our clothing, balance it in one hand like a circus entertainer. We can take more than that. You cannot carry any more products. Seems like even experienced clothing carriers have limits. And I thought we could balance an entire annual supply of clothing in one hand. Silly me. Now we have 2 choices. 1, or simply put it on the rack to sell for profit. Apparently I can only put one type of clothing on a rack. Good thing we have ways to store our stocks appropriately. By throwing. Yep, perfect. Now comes my favorite task, setting prices. Or as I like to call it, scamming the living cloth out of our innocent customers. About $1,000 for $15 worth of clothing should be just enough. Approve. The only thing left to do is to open our shop. There's our first customer, and she seems desperate for proper body covering clothing. You came to the right address, welcome! Alright, I'm officially a ghost now. Eleganza woman's shirt is too expensive. How about trying to earn more money, you poor wench? The next lady surely must have more sense of fashion. Eleganza woman's shirt is too expensive. I'm starting to believe it might be a problem on our end. Let's try lowering our prices to a more reasonable $90. That will do the trick. I guess these conjoined twins not necessarily agree with our pricing. But most certainly this gentleman has a good eye for reasonable priced garments. Eleganza woman's shirt is too expensive. Why would you buy a shirt for women in the first place, you pervert? Alright, let's go with $55. Still above the recommended, but I'm in charge of this establishment. Plus, as we already figured out, there's no competition at all. Still too expensive, you little... Actually, never mind. $50, my sweet profit margins. Too expensive? I'm starting to feel bullied. $40, please. Oh, we have someone interested. There's no fitting room in the store. Can someone please just end my misery? Check out Click Hard-Earned Profit. Congratulations! Words I never heard in school. Now you know what to do. Are you sure about that? An exciting adventure in the glamorous world of fashion and disrespectful customers awaits you. Let's see if you can turn your store into the fashion center of the city, or we don't do that here. So this is the basic game loop. Customer comes, customer takes clothes, customer pays clothes, we have profit. Wanna see it again? And thus our glorious first day in the daunting world of overpriced cloth is finished, with $146 blown out of the window. Second day, open. We actually can move our rack into this more favorable position, as well as further away from the entrance and the register, with some obstacles in the way so our customers can live healthy, happy lives. After visiting our shop, I wonder what's in her mind, but at least I can tell she's wearing some stylish underwear, restocking clothes, and at the end of day 2 we have a nice profit of $820 while only dealing with 3 complaints, as if someone would care. With our new funds we can expand our shop. Big thanks to Cool Blue Truck Kun for delivering our order again in a timely manner. First we have a new fitting room, looking good in that corner, so how about we make it face the wall instead of the intended way. There we have 2 new racks in that corner by the window so everybody can clearly see what we have to offer. Follow me for more tips on how to run a successful business. And the third one will put just like that, before stacking everything with fresh clothing again, with more appropriate storing on top of each other. Looking sweet. Don't forget the trash can. And open, and customers are coming. Sweet profits. Don't forget to restock. That doesn't seem right. I'm afraid I accidentally turned off gravity. Can I place a pile of clothes on top? Sure can. Again and again. Now we need to test something real quick, but we need more test subjects for that. Tower of clothing is possible to make, so whenever we run low, we simply trick gravity. And we can do something like this, a tower of clothing with multiple segments. Skipping ahead a bit, and at the end of day 7 I realized we have overdue rents and overdue invoices. Sadly these are getting paid automatically, so it is impossible to do stuff like tax fraud. We also reached level 5 so we can invest in new brands. For only $200 we get access to man's pants, sweatshirt, t-shirt and another woman's t-shirt. And for 500 more a man's shirt, woman's pants and sweatshirt. What a deal! And just like that our range of products has expanded. Beautifully dumped in the middle of the road, setting everything up, and before we realize we are one step closer to becoming rich, while our storage is organized neatly on the floor in front of the windows for everybody to enjoy. Don't forget to set prices correctly, always above the recommended. Our new and improved store is open for business. I just noticed that some customers walked behind the racks to take clothing. I don't know why, but I like where this is going. Of course we need to adjust to this stupidity by dumping on gravity again, but this time in front of our racks. So we end up with something like this. And a deficit of $3,123. In the end, the government can't tax you if you don't have any money to be taxed. Follow me for more financial advice, part 2. I also found out that we could put clothing onto a ceiling. Let's see what our customers say. They better like it because I'm the only clothing store in town. I really appreciate the storage system. Replacement clothing is just one grip away. And the numbers tell us it's totally working. We went crazy with the clothing. Let's see what else we can do. I noticed that our racks are far too orderly, at least for my taste. So how about something like this? The beginning of a beautiful labyrinth. I also found design customization, and since we already dumped on physics, I went with Be Mindful of Zero Gravity, held in eyeball burning pink and green. And yes, I couldn't fit this one space in. All of that for the price of $100, an absolute no-brainer. Since we are level 18, time passes when you are enjoying yourselves, and have $48,000 at hand, let's invest some into expansion. All of it. And we get a whole new entrance for free. Adjusting our layout. While we're at it, I'm almost kind of certain we need a warehouse. Warehouses mean stuff, and stuff means less work for me, but more importantly, other lives ruined. This one comes with 3 shelves and 3 cardboard boxes, as well as 2 chairs. We might need to do adjustments. For now we block off the entrance to our storage facilities with the register. Only downside, we have to walk on the outside, but whenever we have to walk, everybody else has to walk as well. When it comes to employees, we can only have a cashier. For everything else, we are too inexperienced. I didn't know you needed a degree in human psychology to ruin someone else's life. And there our new cashier is, wondering how she ended up here. Clean teeth, check. Stylish underwear, check. And she's so attached to her work that she doesn't even let go of the register. After freeing some space, it's time to add more decoration, starting with some additional walls. Now we're going to separate the clothing room and the register room. Don't worry, our ceiling lamps are totally fine. Now we take our brush, pick a nice pattern, and everything turned out to be better than even I expected. Don't forget the floor, looking absolutely gorgeous. Now we need some racks to show off our products, and of course we're going to place those in the most random way possible, but with the utmost customer inconvenience in our mind. I'm thinking about something like this. Our customers cannot step on those platforms, so they have to walk around to get to the racks. Don't forget to block off our new entrance. We need order after all. And after some trial, error and questionable decisions, we have a showroom full of insanity at our disposal. And let me tell you, this is not even close to perfection. I always have a brighter idea. Next room we have the register, and someone who gave up on life a long time ago. Don't worry, let me increase your suffering. Because we are finally able to design our own work uniforms. Cashier, women. This is our plain shirt, which we can paint, stick, add some specials and write, which can also be achieved with paint. Best part, we can import our own pictures and add them a few hundred times. Add an appropriate text and some stickers and some colors like fresh dump brown in the armpits. Absolute eye candy. What do you think, Miss Cashier? She is astonished. Everything is set up, so let's see what our customers say. Please come in. And immediately they find their way, or are overwhelmed in such a way they have to turn around and start over again. Both is fine to me. Here comes the money. This is really entertaining, like watching ants in the terrarium. As soon as our customers leave, we fill the racks and end the day with $17,000 in deficit. No problem. Then we start the next day and watch our lovely ants again. And we appreciate the fact that our clothes come in what appears to be plastic containers. Even nature wins when we open a clothing store. Restocking, and we end the day with a whopping $4,866 in profits. Investment pays off. Speaking of restocking, why should we do that when we can simply pay someone to do that for us? Glory to capitalism. Level 20 restocker. There he is, motivated for his new career. Excuse me, we just don't sit down, we work for our...
Holy shit.
Hey, you ripped? We still have to make him a uniform. Sexy abs below here. Perfect. Nevertheless, we have to remove the chairs. No one gets to sit around here. There's a new restocker, and he just stays outside, probably thinking to himself why he didn't stay in bed today. But why isn't he restocking? Let's order some goods and move them into the storage shelves. Doesn't work. Maybe next to. Maybe if I move the shelf. Found a solution. We need to store clothes in cardboard boxes first. Silly me. Now he works for his salary. For a moment I started to feel betrayed. The only thing we have to do now is ensure a steady supply of clothes in cardboard boxes. Better improve our storage space. And yes, it is poor coincidence that I'm placing the cardboard boxes on the lowest shelf for the maximum amount of future back pain. What comes next on our grand journey? Right, mannequins. Both extremely funny to watch, but being extremely terrifying at the same time. So this is how we place them, without paying too much attention to their surroundings or physics. What an awkward stare. Both the lady and the gentleman are probably wondering what in the world they are doing here. But the second gentleman has obviously something to complain about, but this is how they work. And after some time we can turn this currently maze-like showroom into a literal nightmare. If you thought that was it, there are many stories these mannequins are telling. We have this gentleman holding the torn off head of a woman, the story of Manny the murder mannequin. There's our tree from the start, still unsure what to do next. Here we have a perfect example of domestic violence. This lady is either complimenting our interior design, or arguing with an inanimate wall, or wondering why there's no natural light in this showroom. Over here we have two gentlemen arguing, while being curiously watched by a third gentleman. Also interesting hand placement right here, I'm not judging. At this corner we have the clothing store version of the human centipede, right next to the International Staring Contest finals. I'm so creative. But my most favorite part is this masterpiece right here at our second entrance. I like to call it failed attempt. We can't really place anything outside of our store because of property disputes. Probably, sadly. Here we defy physics again, while sending a clear message. The only thing you can do is run, but you will never be able to escape. Alright, that's that. Next up, let's meet up the good people keeping this enterprise afloat. Here we have our storage workers with proper work clothing and safety precautions. Work accident related lawsuits are far too expensive to handle, so they have to wear hard hats. Clothing is dangerous. The text on their uniforms say sexy, doesn't talk back, and has no free will. So these guys fulfill all the requirements what makes a good worker. And you already know our restockers and lifeless cashier. I gave you some company. I don't really know what the message behind this pair of mannequins was, but at least I can say it's modern abstract art. I like how everything has turned out so far, but of course I have another idea. First we need to buy some more space. Yep, this should be enough. Then we need some more walls. Thanks Mr. Cool Blue Truck Kun. Place 1. Don't forget to cover the windows, we don't want any spies in here. Leave a gap for the door, can I squeeze through here? Unfortunately, I'm too fat. Doesn't matter in the end. Then we place a cover wall, take our good old friend the paintbrush, and we can transform this innocent looking corridor into a site for a satanic cult. Of course made completely with mannequins. Imagine you just got lost in a clothing store and suddenly you find a scenery like this. I'm sure you would like to have a quick tour. Here is the inner circle. Then we have the high priests and priestesses. Here are the normal members. And we even have some who try to get away. But we all know how an attempt like this ends. Almost forgot that we have a clothing store to manage. So back to work it is. We still have one feature I haven't really talked about. Special designs, aka make everything look as questionable as possible. It's pretty much the same editor we had when designing work uniforms. The only difference is that we can choose between agenda, t-shirts, pullovers and caps. Okay, so let's start with a plain white shirt, which definitely requires some ironing. Add some armpit sweat, then we draw a circle, a line below, a triangle, and a beautiful depiction of a woman it is. Next we draw half a circle, a podium underneath it, and a square. This should be a toilet. Hold on, now it's a toilet. The last part is just for clarification. Of course we have to do the same with the female t-shirt. Make it white, armpit sweat, circle, 2 lines and 2 more lines. And we get the depiction of a man. Of course we still need a toilet and some clarification. Both of these t-shirts will be worth their weight in gold. But where are we going to use them, you might want to know. Of course with these 2 mannequins right by our fitting rooms. Clearly nothing wrong with this. Alright, I think we've caused as much mischief as possible. Time for a stress test to call it a successful day. So this is how it looks like when we order new goods to be sold. A pretty impressive pile, isn't it? But we can do better. We just need a little more money to be able to see what the game can handle. Please remember we are currently level 38 and have $16,000 at our disposal. And after a bajillion years and 24 more levels, we sit at $300,000. I can already hear my PC begging for mercy. Commence the chaos! $100,000 in, we are still running pretty smoothly. $150,000 in and the frame rate is starting to give up on life. $200,000 of insanity. I'm starting to question myself why I keep doing such stupid things. I don't know if you can see this, but just ordering one good takes about 5 times longer. Almost there. We did it! And oh good lord of 1 frame per second. This has to be experienced when playing the game after too many drinks. Our storage exit is blocked off. Come on game, you can't make me walk through my nightmare of a showroom. There we go. Excuse me, I'm not drunk, I just ordered too many clothes for a stable frame rate. This is so stupid. Almost there. I can see the exit. I think here we are. And what a nice pile of frame-killing clothes it turned out to be. Guess what we will do next? First we climb this pile, then jump on the roof of the shop on the opposite side of the road. And just before we know, we are free of all responsibilities. This area is actually quite nice. And the background reminds me of the Irish countryside. Underdeveloped, lack of any infrastructure, but with a scent of drunk driving. Look what I found. Owner parking only. Unauthorized vehicles towed at the vehicle's owner's expense. Pretty sure if you end up behind the city with your car, you have bigger things to worry about. Like falling off the map into the bottomless abyss, where we can get one last glimpse of the mess we just made. I will let my employees deal with that while I enjoy the abyss. Maybe I'll liquefy my bones at the bottom. Until then, thank you so much for watching me define fashion trends for the next millennia. You can follow me on Twitter, or X as no one I know and like calls it. And I see you again when I create low frame per second experience in the digital world.